I'd like to welcome the Minister to the House. Welcome, Minister, and acknowledge our guests in the public gallery, and I'll formally second the motion. Before I commence my contribution, I want to say that I hope we can use this occasion to add to the good of helping small and medium businesses in these very constrained times. I had hoped that we could discuss some of the measures that we in the Labour Party Centres Group think might go some way towards finding solutions, but of course it would be very easy and much easier to discuss them if we had some of the opposition here to actually listen to what we're saying. I'm very disappointed with the turnout, I have to say that. I hope that this debate can be taken in the manner in which it's intended and not used as an exercise for government bashing. I think that my colleagues on the far side of the House, when they do arrive, will indulge us in that aspiration. So to underscore the importance of the small and medium business sector, we can note that 98% of enterprises in Ireland are small and medium businesses, and 68% of employment in the country is created in this sector. We have seen the economy shrink by about 20% in 4 years, and we've seen unemployment rise by over 300,000 in the same period, and we have seen small businesses starved of finance in the meantime. And I think that if we are to recover, and we will recover, the SME sector has a vital role to play in that recovery. We've seen welcome growth in export revenue, but the domestic side of the economy remains flat. And without growth on the domestic side, we will not achieve sustainable levels of employment, nor indeed will we make any meaningful level of progress. My colleagues will outline some of their ideas later, but I want to concentrate on one issue that has received recent and widespread public comment. That's the issue of allowing directors of companies to have access to their pensions to support their businesses. We have structured the motion in the way we have, in the manner outlined, in order to tease out the implications of this suggestion. There are certain attractions in the proposal, the basis of which can be summed up, I suppose, as follows: that if a director of a company has built up a substantial pension fund and now find that their business is facing challenges in accessing finance, that director should be allowed to use a portion of their pension to fund or support their businesses. And that seems like a sensible and a simple option. But of course, in life, few things are sensible, or few things are simple, and in politics, few things are sensible. But one difficulty becomes apparent when we examine this issue, and it's the core issue with regard to the provision of pensions. It's indeed the theory undermining the provision of pensions, and that is the idea of risk diversity. Best practice in this regard says that one's entire pension fund should not be invested in one sector of the economy, or indeed in one geographical area. The risk should be spread across a range of sectors, a range of industries, and even a range of countries. We can imagine what would have happened if, during the boom, the pension industry had decided that property in Ireland would make a good return, or maybe worse still, shares in an Anglo-Irish bank. And what if we had invested a substantial portion of our investment pension fund in such areas? So thankfully we can say that we didn't, and diversity of risk is very welcome here. I think we must be informed by the expert view in this case, and the view is clearly pointing in the direction that the proposal might not achieve what we hope to achieve as an outcome here, and that the entire assets of a business owner, his business and pension, would be exposed to risk if we did follow this course of action. However, I think that there is scope to develop and further examine the merits of this proposal, and I think we could look at the issue of pension fund investment in a more strategic way. We know that there's 72 billion, Minister, in the Irish pension funds at the moment, and we further know that about 19% of that is invested here in Ireland. The Irish Taxation Institute proposes that we should try and find a way to incentivise the industry to invest more in the SME sector. They suggest that 5% investment of the total fund would result in 3.5 billion euros being made available for investment in this sector. We know that the main responsibility of the pension fund trustees, of course, is to maximise the return and the benefit for their members. So we need to find a way to make it an attractive proposition for the managers of pension funds to reach this decision. I don't think we can legislate to coerce pension funds to act in this way, and I don't think we'd want to. This, in my opinion, needs to be done through the taxation system. I'm aware that there's a lot of work being done in this area at the moment in the department, I realise, and also in some private sector institutions around the city, and we expect to find a working paper emerging in the very near future which might give some expression to, in further detail, some of the ideas that I'm talking about. Another area where the pension funds could play a vital part in national recovery is through investment in the high potential start-up enterprises. They are enterprises that employ 10 people or have a turnover of more than €1 million with export potential. It is noticeable, and I suppose it's indeed ironic, that the main seed fund and venture funds in this country seem to be risk averse. I'm aware of several business ideas that have failed due to the scarcity of investment of our risk money. Enterprise Ireland's annual report of last year shows that there's €15 million available for capital in this area. Again, if we can find a way to incentivise the pension funds to invest in this area, it could make the difference to many entrepreneurs. Even a 0.1% investment would see €72 million becoming available. 0.1 is minuscule in the general scheme of things, but could you imagine what the most imaginative and innovative people, the entrepreneurs of this country, could do if they had access to such a fund? I could speak, Minister, all day long about this issue, but I don't think the Chairman is going to allow me.
No, the one.
So I'll close my argument now by asking, Minister, that you will give consideration to some of the ideas that I've outlined, and I hope to speak to yourself and your department personally over the next couple of days, if you don't mind. Thank you very much, Jack.
Go ahead.